What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Neptune the Goon, and I'm back at y'all with another Say Less Moments reaction. Today, we got your boy, you, Craig that Soulja Boy, you got hit for some tickets today. Now, the last thing I heard, when I briefly heard what was going on in the allegations of his alleged blunt roller, I guess they play blunt rollers and they let them stay at their crib. You know, that's part of the conditions. But the way they say rappers usually do it, or however they get their information for court, they said they usually pay them weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly, but they just don't not pay them at all. You know what I mean? Even though you provide luxuries, food, housing, stuff like that, they say that the housing is part of, you know, being a blunt roller, whatever it is you do. Well, somehow, Soulja Boy got hit with, you know, harassment and the grapes and the, you know, alleged slappings, beatings, and, you know, whatever, what have you. It's a long story, and it's a lot of pages to his lawsuit. Now, I thought when I heard at the last, it was about like 220,000. And I was like, okay, that's decent. That's decent. I won something like that before. You know what I mean? You get the back end. You don't get the whole 220 because you got to pay that lawyer. That lawyer get a good like 40%. You get 60, something like that. But anyway, I thought she, you know, took that and cashed in until I seen a 1 point something million. I was like, God damn, she smacked him. So the allegations must be heavy. It must be some kind of track record. Text messages, emails, anything, videos, audio recordings. You know how Whack 100 do. You can't trust nothing. Everything is to be recorded. So we're going to get into it. And I'm going to let y'all figure it out. Then I give my reaction. Once again, this is Say Less Moments TV. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You'll hear me every time I pop out. You dig?
SOULJA Boy is done, bro. Bro might be homeless soon. This is the absolute worst news that anybody could ever get. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the court debacle that's been going on over the last couple of months with SOULJA Boy. SOULJA Boy was seen visibly shooken and expressionless when a guilty verdict was read out loud today in court, accusing SOULJA Boy of some very nasty accusations. This SOULJA Boy case is about to turn this industry upside down. Because what SOULJA Boy did is horrible, is nasty, is disgusting, but it's not abnormal, right? I know 100 rappers who have done similar things to what SOULJA Boy is being accused of. On or about December 2018, Plaintiff began working for SOULJA Boy. Plaintiff was to act as SOULJA Boy's personal assistant. Her job responsibilities included, but were not limited to, cleaning the house, cooking and or bringing food and snacks, carrying personal belongings or luggage, styling SOULJA Boy's hair, driving him around, handling traveling itineraries, vetting guests, and other requests that were made by SOULJA Boy on a day-to-day basis. Hiring a personal assistant ain't illegal, but here's where a regular personal assistant for somebody in an esteemed profession and a rapper personal assistant differ. A rapper would use personal assistant or that job title to essentially move in hot chicks so they can crack them. SOULJA Boy agreed to pay her $500 a week. This is minimum wage, but this is one of the highest payments I've seen from a personal assistant for a rapper. She would even admit that she got paid $200 a week from somebody else, and the other person ain't pay her nothing at all, just room and board. So $500 a week for regular people with regular jobs is minimum wage, but for a personal assistant who gets to live in a multi-million-dollar mansion, that is like premium pay. Now, here's where the predatory line gets drawn between how these rappers interact with personal assistants and what a regular duty of a personal assistant should be. So these rappers, okay, would move in or move these chicks in, right? So the chicks would move into their home. So she moved into SOULJA Boy's residence located in Malibu, California, and Bell Canyon, California. Now, this chick will claim that she was working 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. Most of the time, these things aren't even treated like real jobs. There's no W-2s, 1099s. This is cash under the table. And that's if they're lucky. A lot of these dudes will move these chicks in have them cook for them, wash their drawers, roll their blunts, and essentially try to clap their cheeks, right? And clapping their cheeks is essentially like the consistent duties that they care about the most. They don't care about you washing their clothes or cooking for them, bro, right? Bro, they can get a girlfriend for that, bro. They want to just clap your cheeks. That's it. So this chick and SOULJA BOY was no different. Because as soon as she moved in and started working for SOULJA BOY, almost immediately, SOULJA BOY began to send her pictures of his junk, trying to seduce the chick. Now, shortly after plaintiff and employment relationship, a romantic relationship also developed. And this how they get you. This how they get you. She was saying, yo, the relationship was consensual. He didn't grape me, or at least initially he didn't grape me. This was consensual. But under law, ain't no such thing as consensual, man, when you hire this chick. See, what SOULJA BOY probably ain't realize or understand, bruh, you treating this chick like just some type of regular chick who's just living in your crib, so why not? Why can't I clap her cheeks? I'm paying for her to live here. But she's your employee. You are employing her. You can't just start sending her unsolicited pictures to try to seduce her. And then once the seduction works, you start sleeping with her. That's not how this works, bruh. And under law...
One thing for sure, two things for certain. That's ghetto business. She knew when he hired her what he was trying to do from day one. You see, we all know SOULJA BOY. And SOULJA BOY is a very arrogant person. You know, the type to come with all the money stacks. The type that argue with everybody in the DM on his live. The one that's been trying to press this baby Nintendo. The one that just think he's the greatest that started everything. King Draco. He wasn't even trying to give Draco the ruler the name. Come on, man. You don't think he the... So anyway, ghetto business. And she knew he was on that. But the way it pans out, she finesses the relationship thing in it. But then she gets in her emotion, probably know he knocking down other trees. So then she go, oh, okay, now it's just straight business. I don't have to take this. Then he like, Trick, we been doing this, like, ooh, you know what I mean? And then that's when abuse start coming and everything else. I bet you that's coming next. Say Less Moments TV. Let's get it.
For her to live here. But she's your employee. You are employing her. You can't just start sending her unsolicited pictures to try to seduce her. And then once the seduction works, you start sleeping with her. That's not how this works, bruh. And under law, she could leave at any point, file a lawsuit, bruh, and break your pockets for workplace harassment, workplace section, SA, bruh, it could be anything. As soon as SOULJA BOY began to clap her cheeks and sleep with her, he started to forget that she was an employee.
Why he trying to talk like he from New York?
And apparently, he began to violate her, right? Acting violently towards her. Now, according to her, the violent acts began on or around January 23rd, 2019, and included numerous instances of physical violence, kicking, throwing, and punching, SA, spitting on her body, and threats of physical violence and death. She would recall an incident that took place January 23rd, 2019. Apparently, her and SOULJA BOY was in the vehicle. SOULJA BOY asked her to drop him off at his mom's house. She assumed his mom lived in Georgia, so she asked him, wait, hold on, don't your mom live in Georgia? Apparently, SOULJA BOY got so irate, he kicked her out of the vehicle, dragged her out, and she was stranded, right? And when she was stranded, after he physically pushed out the vehicle, she was forced to walk 5 miles from Beverly Hills to Hollywood Boulevard. When I say SOULJA BOY began to treat her like his girlfriend when he began sleeping with her, this is what I meant. This is not news. This is not shocking. This is pretty normal for SOULJA BOY. I'm not sure if you guys are old enough to where y'all knew when SOULJA BOY was dating Nia Riley. When they were on television, they were on Love and Hip Hop.
I don't even know who that is.
Nia Riley has a well-documented history of calling out SOULJA BOY for violating her. She was even on Tasha K, telling numerous of stories of SOULJA BOY violating.
Yeah, he was in his bathroom getting his hair cut. And where our bed was, you go like straight into the bathroom, like right where you are. And then the door was downstairs and the front door, right there as soon as you get to the bottom of the steps. So I was like, okay, I know this nigga's haircuts take like an hour, if not longer. So I was like, okay. So I'm trying to make sure he can't see me in certain mirrors, like from the bathroom. And I pack my bag, and I try to, like, you know, it's a crazy situation to try and get out of it. But I was like, okay, I'm cool, I'm good, I'm leaving, I can't do it. So I just sat there, I was watching. He hadn't moved, didn't get up for nothing for a minute. So I was like, okay. So I got my bag, and I walked downstairs, and I was like halfway downstairs, and I felt him pressing against the back of my head. And I just sat down. I sat on the steps, for about probably a couple hours. I just stayed there. And he was sitting behind me, and I didn't say, with the gun too? Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember if I feel like he had just finished his haircut right at the moment I wanted to leave, of course. But yeah, he sat there. And he had friends there that was sitting there that would just watch him, and nobody ever said anything. And
Teddy Riley even called out SOULJA Boy and said he needs to apologize for the years of violating his daughter Nia. So this is not something that's new. These are age-old accusations that SOULJA Boy has always been linked to. So when I hear the personal assistant who essentially turned into his girlfriend because she was living with him, cooking for him, and getting her cheeks clapped by him. So yeah, you know, it's no surprise or it's no shocker from my perspective that he began to do similar things to her that he did to Nia Riley. On or around February of 2019, they weren't on good terms. He wanted the cheeks. She wasn't trying to give him the cheeks because she wasn't feeling him at the time, so he took it, right? He took it without her permission or without her consent, and then paid her $1,000 to apologize. Now, on or around May of 2019, apparently she tried to leave, right? She tried to quit. She was tired of it. But when she tried to leave, apparently SOULJA Boy grabbed her phone and spit on her when she tried to quit. Now, at the time, she tolerated this because she claims that she was in love with SOULJA Boy. But this is a trend. This is the same thing that we just heard Nia Riley's told Tasha K 5 years ago. She said, yo, I tried to leave. I was sick and tired of being violated, being mistreated, so I tried to leave. And when I tried to leave, he put a gun to the back of my head. So, again, how I would, you know, like decide on who's guilty or who's not, or how I decide whether or not somebody is credible, I look at the trend, bro. If you got a trend of doing these things, bro, I'm going to take the person's word who's claiming you did it to them after you done did it to multiple other people. She documented how SOULJA Boy threatened to unalive her on multiple occasions. He would brutalize her pretty badly, and how on one occasion he hit her so hard in the back of her head that she fell unconscious and had to wake up in a locked bedroom. This is not just regular rage. This is like uncontrollable psychotic rage. This is insane.
SOULJA Boy out of control.
This isn't even the worst part or the sickest part. The sickest part about all of this, or the
It's
sickest
that
accusation from my perspective,
especially when you got dumb money,
is when she would say that she left, right? That one day things got so bad, she officially left. Now, when she left, she tried to come back to grab her belongings because she didn't have time to grab anything. She just escaped and left. And when she got back and tried to get her belongings, she would claim that SOULJA Boy forced himself on her. If we go to
why did you come back?
On numerous
if you running, you running.
Twice in the same day, SOULJA Boy would inappropriately touch her, forcibly pull her pants off, and rape her, according to her. Right? Now, if you scroll down and go to paragraph 22, on or around September or October of 2020, plaintiff attempted to retrieve her belongings after leaving. And when she tried to, apparently SOULJA Boy refused to give her her belongings, and he used the opportunity to grape the plaintiff again.
Why did she come back?
With photos.
Why would you come back? You ran the first time.
She came to court with, it's as if she was documenting this as it was happening, knowing she was about to sue. Because she had receipts for every accusation she made against SOULJA Boy.
She was.
In 4K.
Yep.
So SOULJA Boy had
she was doing that whack 100
because, bro, like this chick.
She was doing that 600.
Nothing but proof. So SOULJA Boy had to take the stand to do some damage control. Now his lawyers will question him about conduct. He would say that every time they were intimate, he would ask her if she wanted to be intimate. And
I know he had them
all fully
stupid
consensual.
dumbass glasses on.
Now, one of the things I
Trying to
did
look
pay-
like a
pay
nerd. That
attention
nigga's
to,
stupid.
right?
I started rolling.
Was the above, man, was when SOULJA BOY was questioned about being rich and all the money he has, because his finances.
No,
is a big
I was
deal,
laughing
right?
how
His
he had the
finances is a
speech
big
and he had
deal
to
in
read
this
it on his
situation.
phone after he
SOULJA BOY
lost.
was forced to admit to
That
all
big
the
ass
things
phone he
capped
had.
about, like making $15 to $20 million from Crank That. He said it was cap. All right, and they asked him how much has he made this year from streaming. All right, well, not the music, but from streaming his video games and TikTok and stuff like that. So
He started lying.
when asked about his money from
He said he
online
don't know.
streaming, SOULJA BOY said probably like 18,000 so far this year. You've only made 18,000 this year. Yeah, because it takes a while for the money to like produce from the streams. Oh no! So it looks like this is for music. $18,000 this year off his music, which to me honestly makes sense. All right. So SOULJA BOY says his bank account fluctuates and that trial is taking a lot of his money. And he will say he makes $300 to $400 per live stream on TikTok.
Yeah, he a professional liar.
Now,
He good.
Sabrino also asked SOULJA BOY about him saying he been offered $140 million for a video game system. Now, mind you, this was part of the cap that SOULJA BOY was capping about in like 2016, 2018. All right? So, SOULJA BOY said it didn't go through. But SOULJA BOY told us he already got the $100 million, right? So SOULJA BOY laughed when Sabrino asked him if he's worth $100 million. All right? So SOULJA BOY admits to all the cap in court. All right? But ultimately, bruh, the messages that prove he got found guilty, it was an easy call. Now, afterwards, SOULJA BOY came out and decided to speak to the public. Now, mind you, usually when somebody gets found guilty, all right, or when a verdict comes,
Man, when I
they
seen
walk
that
out of
part,
court with their lawyers,
look at his dumbass glasses on.
SOULJA BOY walked out of court by himself,
Stupid dumbass
left his
glasses
lawyers,
on.
and gave Megan Cuniff a statement. And here's what SOULJA BOY had to say about
Look at this
the guilty
goofy.
About the verdict. Today, I
It's
stand
goofy.
before you deeply disappointed in the verdict delivered in my case. I firmly believe that the decision made in court was not based on facts or substantial evidence, but rather on factors that were outside of my control. The truth was overshadowed by the involvement of individuals such as the jury who were not present during the events in question. And I feel that the system allowed external influences to shape the outcome.
Very good, very good.
The use of Jane Doe as the identity of
Stop
the
popping your arm.
raises serious concerns about fairness. Keeping these individuals anonymous while I'm forced to face public scrutiny creates an unequal playing
What is you
field.
scratching your
I
leg
believe
for?
This entire process has
What's
been
up with this
tainted
nigga
by a system
arm?
that is not designed to
Check him
protect
out,
the rights of the
tweaking.
accused. I want to make it clear that I'm innocent.
Boy, I hate rappers.
Tweaking.
Man. Yo, I hate rappers, bruh. Even he don't believe he's innocent, bruh. You can just see him. Bro, you don't believe that, bruh. Man, cut it out, man. Bro, cut it out, bruh.
They said SOULJA BOY was in acting school for a year, and he sure put it to use. When I seen him with them glasses, reading for the first time, I ain't check out all this. That little monkey stuff he was doing, like he had that itch, like, you know what I mean, like he on that dog food. Yeah, check him out, tweaking. Kodak Black type tweaking. Anyways, yeah, they said he put his year-long acting to good use. And that's bad. SOULJA BOY, you got to do better. And on top of that, stop calling, leaving a trace. Stop texting, leaving a trace. And you putting blammers to the back of the Feezy's head? Oh, and sitting behind her for hours on the stairs? Bro, you tripping. You need to let her leave. You get in trouble. Kids, do not follow that SOULJA BOY example. On top of, he ain't really got no motion right now. But we ain't even finna get all that. And I ain't even finna talk about the homie. Whoopty. Say Less Moments TV. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Instagram, BEE.HUSTLE. And that's my Instagram. I print t-shirts. Got the Rottweilers. And if anybody interested as far as being moderators or anything, hit me up as well. If you do any kind of creation content, hit me up as well. My number's going up, and we gonna go up. Say Less Moments TV. It's Neptune the Goon, and I'm out.